So all the buildings around you, they are from that time. And maybe you heard about the man who was in charge of that, an architect who was in charge of creating the new city, a city which was exploding. We had so much of a growth of population, you know, that we needed to transform the city of Paris from a very old city into a modern city with those straight axes, wide avenues, and the man was called Haussmann. So maybe you will hear about him if you study architecture. Of course, if you want to become a great architect, sure you will hear about him. He really marked his time, the end of the 19th century, and at the center of that district, look what we have. You've been walking all around. This is the largest opera house in the world. Ooh la la, we are very happy and very proud of it. It's not the number, not the largest because of its number of seats. We only have, what, 2,000 seats inside. But the stage is the largest stage ever. If you want to become a professional dancer, if you want to dance, classical dance, of course, the apex of your life will be to dance here at this opera house on the stage. On that stage, which is the largest in the world, it's also the hardest because on the stage has got an angle, some kind of slope. You see the corridor on the bus. You don't really feel this, but it has a slope, a very small angle, about 10 degrees. It's nothing when you walk, easy for you, but when you dance, it's a nightmare. I can tell you that. So you can visit it. We still, of course, play operas here without any problems. Beautiful ballet. You can imagine when the 450 dancers are together on the stage. This is absolutely stunning. There's no word to describe it, okay? Alors, you see, you can check it out. Tokyo, I'm not lying to you. Look at all the buildings. Look at all of them. They've got the same height. Everything is symmetrical. Haussmann, that guy, loved the symmetry. He loved the Roman times, and he also loved America. By the time you were starting to be developed, he looked at your way of making cities with those straight axes, so he copied it, right? But he added some trees. You see all the trees? I'm going to talk about the trees, what we call the toilets for dogs, later, okay? Voilà, voilà. Now, I've got many things to tell you. With Jean-Charles, we're going to turn right, and I'm going to take you through the poorest area of Paris. You ready to see your hotel? Yes. Teasing you. In fact, you're going to see now the most expensive area. So just dream, my dear friends. I'm going to be a little bit sexist by telling you that the fact that in this street, we usually say that this street is for you ladies. Look at all the greatest jewelers in the world. Look at Cartier on your right-hand side, just here, under the scaffoldings. Cartier, that's the #1 in the world. Valerio on your right-hand side, Piaget, we have Van Cleef. This street is called the Rue de la Paix. The Rue de la Paix, pretty street, and you know what? If you study French, this would be a good way to learn French by playing at the Monopoly game. Have you heard about the Monopoly game? What's the most expensive street for you in your version? That's Park Place, yes, and Boardwalk, you remember? That's it. So in France, on our French version, that's the Rue de la Paix. Voilà. The Rue de la Paix, that's the street we just passed. We're going to come back this way, but look on your left, right-hand side. Look at the Ritz Hotel. I see my car. My driver will drop me. Yeah, okay. You see the brown car? The 911? This is the Ritz Hotel, the first deluxe hotel in Paris, the place where Lady Diana, left on that tragic day on the 31st of August 1997, where she found death. She had the car crash. This column on your left-hand side, can you read Latin words at the bottom? Neapolio, E-M-P-I-M-P, Og. This is the Imperator. Neapolio is Napoleon. For those who are on the left part of the bus, it's easier for you to see at the top the statue of Napoleon I. This column, it's like a comic strip, a cartoon. It relates the most amazing victory he had. You know that Napoleon was a very humble guy, very modest, very kind, okay? Forget it, of course. He was a real vain emperor, and he wanted to show his victory by, just symbolize his victory, by stealing to his enemies 900 guns and cannons. He took those guns and cannons made of bronze, and guess what he did? He ordered to erect this column. So this column is a real insult to Europe, because of course it reminds us the conflicts, the tensions we had between the different countries of Europe. Can you see the balconies inside of you? What sign can you see on the balcony at the center? Yes, the sun. The sun with the face of Apollo, which gives you the name of that square that you've just seen. The Place Vendôme is one of the oldest squares in Paris. This is the Sun King who ordered it. And I know for you it's so hard to believe it. We've just seen a square which is 350 years old. That means yesterday for us, okay? But for you, you come from a young country, this is always very hard to understand that, to realize it. And I was talking about dance. You remember the Opera House? I was talking about the dance and so on. On your right-hand side, you're going to see a very, very famous store, which is now all over the world, a worldwide known name. This is the Repetto. Have you heard about Repetto? R-E-P-E-T-T-O, right? This is, they make perfumes, but they mostly sell tutus and ballerinas for the dancers. So look, on your right-hand side, you're going to see they just changed the window, and it's beautifully decorated with all the flowers, with the pink tutus. Look at this. Well, just on the right-hand side, here is Repetto, where the professional dancers come and, of course, buy their stuff. Just look now on your left-hand side. Get ready. This is Paris. You know, you have to be surprised. I love it. Look at the beauty. Look at the beauty of the facade of the Opera House. Isn't it wonderful? You see the roof? How it is? Don't you think the roof of the concert hall looks like a crown? This looks like a crown. That's the place where all the rehearsals are located today, right? And this is the crown of the emperor we had at that time, around 1860, while the Opera House was started to be built. He was named Napoleon III. He was a mess politically. I can tell you that we keep a very bad memory of him politically, but he is the one who thought about transforming Paris into a modern city. You might hear about him when you will go to Madrid, because he was married to a Spanish girl, a Spanish lady called Eugenia of Montijo, right? She lived in Madrid. All the family is from the area of Madrid. And I'm not going to talk too much about this avenue, because for us, this avenue, for the Parisians, this is for us the avenue which is not the best one. We don't like this avenue for one reason. There's something missing. Do you know what misses in this avenue? Yes, exactly. Heidi is right. Trees. Well, now you feel Parisian, you know, right? So no shade, no trees. It's a bit sad, it's a bit cold, if we can say that, right? And I've got to tell you that all the avenues, all the boulevards of Paris are lined with trees. We got 170,000 trees. That means 170,000 toilets for dogs, right? That's essential. But this street doesn't have, this avenue is the only avenue with no trees. You know the answer. You know why? If you look just behind you, you got the answer. The architect of the Opera House told Haussmann, the architect of Paris, guy, if you plant any tree in this avenue, I will hang you on it, because you will spoil the beautiful perspective, the beautiful view you will have from up there to the Opera House. And that's the only reason why this avenue is with no trees, right? But this also explains to you, my friends, what makes Paris so beautiful, because you're going to have a major question during the tour. What makes Paris so specific, so beautiful, so attractive? I have many answers. The first answer, myself. Okay. The first answer, straight lines. You're going to feel that symmetry everywhere that makes the beauty of the city, right? There are other answers. The other answer, the size of Paris. What did you expect? When you came to Paris, usually even if you have excellent teachers, you know, they have to tell you that, and maybe you've been told about this, that Paris is not a big city. You know what fascinates us when we go to the States? A part of Boston and San Francisco, that are for us the only human cities, you know, in America. When a French guy goes to America, he's completely amazed by the vastness of your country, of your cities. This is something we cannot realize, right? Even if we take 1,000 pictures, we won't be able to, you know, transmit it. That's the way it is. So Paris for you, it's a small village. It's just 5 miles from north behind you to south, and about 6 miles from east to your left to west. That's it, right? So that means that you can walk through Paris without, through the streets of Paris without any problems. Without getting tired, you will always have something to see in Paris. You will never get bored of walking through the streets and look at everything everywhere. You will love it. Okay? Now we have a great sensation. We're going to test Jean-Charles, right? Jean-Charles is coming from the outskirts of Paris, and he has to drive through these small archway. Look at this. So we have to keep close together. We only have the place to drive through these arches. I can tell you that sometimes with young drivers, they miss it. And you're going to see the evidence. You're going to look on each side of the archway by the side of the mirrors. You're going to see the trace of mirrors that have been left by the drivers that partly missed the arch. This is a terrible test for them, you know, especially after lunch when they've drunk 2 bottles of the Bordeaux wine. But that's okay. Now look at this and get ready with your eyes, your heart, your cameras, your smartphones, selfies. Because just after, you're going to see something that you will see tomorrow. Is that right, Pascal?
Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, you'll come back here and you will really fall in love with this amazing building. Look at this. Again, we love it. You don't expect what you're going to discover. This building, which looks more like a palace than a museum. This was a palace before, the palace of most kings of France. This is the largest museum in the world, not for its number of masterpieces, we don't care about that, but for its number of miles of galleries. You got 5 miles of galleries. This is the Louvre Museum. Look at this. And what do you think about this, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think about this entrance, which celebrates its 30th birthday this year, right? 2019, 1989. What do you think about this? Do you like it? Yes? That's normal. You're American. You've been much more open-minded than we have. You know, in France, we've always been in trouble with one art. So when this project of making a new entrance here was in the media, in the newspapers and so on, you know what we did? We complained, we yelled, we even stopped the works by attempting to the caterpillars, ready to do it, right? So finally it has been done. We are enjoying it, of course, right? Because after a while now we're getting used to it. But even if people say that it spoils a little bit of the beauty of the architecture and so on, hey, it's up to you, right? And we think it's not too bad because it's symmetrical. It reminds us Egypt, an old civilization. It is made of glass, right? So it's almost transparent, so it doesn't really spoil too much, and it's very, very, very useful. Because there is only one big entrance. If tomorrow you think you're lost, just look for the signs towards the pyramid and you will find everyone. This is as easy as that, right? And of course tomorrow, what will you see there? Oh my God. And you'll have to see 3 major highlights of the world, right? The first one, that's of course the Mona Lisa, painted by Leonardo da Vinci, right? Well, that's the original one, of course, right? You'll see her, and you will look at her changing expression from one side to the side. Of course, you're going to say, yes, but I know, Fred, that we've heard about the fact that she looks at you. Yes, of course, with all the portraits of that time, they do the same thing. I don't think you've crossed the Atlantic Ocean just to see something that can be seen everywhere, right? So it's true that when you look at her from the left to the right, she keeps following you with her eyes. But in fact, she mostly changes expression. That is unique, and we still don't know really how Da Vinci did to make it. Then you will run to the Greek antiques, and my dear ladies, just for you, you're going to see after you the nicest lady on earth. The nicest lady in the world, she is here. She's called the Venus of Milo. She's absolutely tremendously beautiful. She's a statue, she's a bit old, but I can tell you that with the makeup, that meant something, right? 2,200 years old. She is the Greek statue which has got the best proportions ever. But she's got 2 problems, 2 issues. You know, if your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever, if your lover tells you, oh my darling, you look like the Venus of Milo, this will be the best compliment for you. I can tell you, this will be the best, except for 2 things. First thing, she doesn't have any arms. So, no washing, no cooking. I'm kidding. So, that's good. No reaction. That's good. You should kill me now. But the worst thing is that she's got a humongous foot. She's really very well proportioned, but she's got a foot. This is the giant foot, right? So that's why if you are called, if you are nicknamed Venus of Milo, that may also mean that you've got big feet. So watch out about this, okay? So you'll see that. And after that, you will make your way to the winged victory of Samothrace, of course, which is also a great Greek highlight that stands at the top of the staircase at the Louvre, right? And then you will be able to explore, all the different galleries. I can tell you that many guides will tell you that if you visit the Louvre entirely, it will take you 3 weeks, it will take you 2 months. Okay, who cares about that? I just calculated, I was upset by that. I said, okay, let's count. Let's do a bit of mathematics. You got 36,000 masterpieces in the Louvre. Okay, we know that. If you spend half a minute in front of every single masterpiece, it will take you 10 days and nights. That's it. But I don't think you will spend 30 seconds, in front of a masterpiece. This is an insult to the artist, right? You might want to stand there and take your time. So take your time and see whatever you want to see, okay? And Pascal will give you a meeting point, a certain time to meet, and there will not be any problems. Okay, dokie? Voilà. I'm going to tell you a few things about Paris now that we are stuck in the traffic jam. That's good. About Paris, I told you that Paris is a small city. You know what Paris looks like? A square, a triangle, a lozenge, a circle, an egg?
Like a circle?
It's like a circle, exactly. It's like an egg, I would say. It's like an oval shape, right? So everything is concentrated in Paris. That's quite kind of easy. That's why you can walk easily from one monument to the other, one highlight to the other, without getting tired, right? The Eiffel Tower, because I heard some of you saying, let's go, we're going to see the Eiffel Tower. When you say Eiffel, it's awful. Okay? So we'll go to the Eiffel Tower, but you can really walk from here to the Eiffel Tower. It will take you maybe, let's say 40 minutes. Right? That's really nothing. And you will just follow what's the name of the river? Forgot. Thank you so much. Oof. Yes, the river Seine. Seine, which stands on your right-hand side. That's also the reason why in America you said even in Paris the fish are insane. I got those bad jokes, just for your digestion, okay? But I can tell you that this is a major problem for you. Paris is a city which is entirely divided by the river Seine, which makes that we've got 2 banks, the right bank and the left bank. If you want to meet your friends, next time you'll come here with members of your family or friends, you'll tell them, okay, let's go somewhere. If you don't want to go with us, you can go shopping and we'll meet on the right bank. Which bank are we on actually? What do you think? Don't be shy, okay? Who thinks we are on the right bank here? Nobody. Who thinks we're on the left bank? Who thinks nothing? You're cheating. Right, okay. Those who think left are completely wrong. Yes.
So I was right.
This is the right. C'est la rive droite.
Yeah.
That's the right thing. But of course, I usually ask the question why we are driving this way, because you're completely backwards. In fact, we are reversed, right? You have to look at the way the river flows. And it flows from east, in front of us, to west. So that's the west, towards your country, okay? So you understand, as you see Paris as exactly as I am, this is my right-hand side. The right bank, your hotel will be on the right bank, and the left bank, okay? Right? That's as easy as that. So, now what do we know? We know that Paris is a small city, that it looks like an egg, a circle, that it's anti-crossed by the river Seine, that it has got 2 banks. Oh, how many people do live in Paris, actually? Downtown, just downtown. Don't think about the urban area. Don't think about the outskirts. Just downtown, you would say? You're right, yes. 2.3 million people. And it's decreasing. Same process, same thing in your country. Now people are moving out for many reasons. The urban stress, the pollution, of course, but also the prices. You've been in the most expensive square city in Europe, London, right? Paris is actually number 3 in Europe. Number 1, London. Number 2, Berlin in Germany. Number 3, Paris. If you want to buy an apartment here, just count around 10,000 euros, that's about $12,000 for you, for 1 square meter. That means, you know, four chairs. That's it, 10 square feet, if you prefer, okay? That's 10,000 euros. And we have a lot of differences. You know, where we go now, you can really double the price. You can go up to 22,000 euros for 1 square meter. So you really have to be, you know, rich to live downtown. And the other reason is now that we prefer to live outside because for us, French people, a sign of a social success. This is to have our own house with a small yard, right? A house which would be about 1,000 square feet, a small yard, and the countryside around. Our urban transportation are really good. I can tell you that we have the high-speed train. You know, for myself, I live in the south part of France. I live about let's say 500 miles away from here, right, in nearby Nîmes. Yesterday we had terrible heat in Nîmes in the south, and I came here for you, right? I came here yesterday by train, with a high-speed train, and it took me 3 hours. And that's it, right? That's absolutely miraculous, okay? So when you live in a city or outside a city, it's also kind of easy to reach downtown because you have a lot of metros and express metros, what we call the RER in France, buses, and it's very, very easy to use it as soon as we don't have any technical bug or any suicide on the railway or any strike. That's the problem, okay? But well, otherwise, everything is okay. That's why now many people, more and more people, do live outside the city and come to the city every day, of course, to work, right? Alors, this is a very special weekend. You know why?
Gay Pride?
No.
Is Gay Pride today?
It's not today. No, I think it's next week, but I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm not sure, Pascal. I'm going to check. No, I was thinking about the fact that this is the first weekend of our summer vacation. By the time you're here, my dear, your friends in high school, they are just waiting now for their final results for the baccalaureate. You know what the baccalaureate is, right?
Yep.
That's the final exam that you have on 12th grade, senior grade, which allows you to go through college. And they've just passed it from the 17th of June until the 22nd, 23rd of June. Now they are waiting to get some oral exams, and then they will have the final results on the 8th of July. So then they will be off. But for the other schools, primary schools and junior high schools, you know, they are now on holiday, on vacation. So for 2 months, and they'll come back to school by the 3rd of September. That's the way. So that's why you will not see too many French people. We have a lot of them who left already or are leaving actually, you know. The roads are completely blocked. They warned us about the traffic today. That's the way it is. Voila, voila. So 2.2 million people in Paris. Do you know how many people at all with the suburb? Oh, how lucky we are. They just blocked the road behind us. The police has blocked the road with us. All the traffic is diverted. I don't know why.
Awesome.
We
Lucky.
we are not lucky. Yes. I guess they blocked the road in front of us too.
Wow, c'est bloqué devant aussi?
Yeah. Oui, j'ai vu, c'est bloqué devant. Ouais.
Oh, pourquoi?
Okay, ben oui, but this is maybe the Gay Pride, Pascal. You may be right. You may be right. That must be the reason why they have decided to block the streets.
Je
Okay,
vais
so.
chercher sur Internet.
Okay, well, that's today, so. Okay. And I can tell you that about all those ceremonies and all those events that take place in Paris, races, concerts and so on, now they are due to the mayor of Paris. The mayor of Paris, she's a girl, she's called Anne Hidalgo. She's been the mayor for 5 years, and she's a mayor that is quite popular, but not for everything. For example, she wants to get rid of all the cars in Paris. She's a car hunter. She hates the traffic. She has a lot of support with the ecologists. You know what the ecologists are, you know? They want to transform Paris into a pedestrian city. So she's doing as many events as she can organize to, sorry about the word, it's true, to disgust us to come by car. right? Because like this, you will be stuck in the traffic jams, you will get nervous, and next time you come to Paris, you will not come with your own car. That's one of the strategies of Anne Hidalgo. But a part of it, we've had the gay pride for years now, of course, right? And that's really something which is good. And we've had a marathon in Paris 3 weeks ago. We're going to have within 2 weeks another marathon, in Paris as well. So that's going to be kind of a bit busy. And by the end of July, we'll have a Tour de France, of course. Voila. So that's going to be something as well. And now, look on your right-hand side now. We have to turn right. We're going to drive on this beautiful bridge. We have to make a detour, but it doesn't matter. What bank is this on your right-hand side? If you understood, that's the left. No, it's not the left bank. I'm terrible with you. This is an island. That's the middle of Paris, okay? This island, this is where Paris was born 2,000 years ago. At that time, there was nothing here. Just nothing. We just had a small island with marsh, with swamps where we are, Italy here, and on the other side we had a huge forest. And guess what? A tribe came. We don't know exactly where they come from. We think they come from the eastern part of Europe. They arrived here and they said, you can imagine their reaction. When they saw it, they said, my gosh, an island? If we settle here, we'll be able to be naturally protected against invasions. Then we got the water. We'll be able to fish and flow, do some trades. And then we got the forest. We'll be able to cut wood. We'll be able to hunt. And we got the swamps. We'll be able to dry them and become farmers. Heaven on earth. So that's why the tribe settled here. Look on your left. Look at these beautiful old towers down there. Can you see them? Right. These towers, it's not Hollywood, it's not a decoration, okay? That's a real castle. These towers are from the 14th century. It's about 700 years old. This is the first palace of the kings. Our kings of France, at first, they started to live here and to rule from this palace. Then it was strengthened into a palace of justice. Today we still use it as the Palace of Justice, and when you talk about justice, you think about prison. We have a jail. We still have a jail here with 20 cells. This has been the most horrible moments. These have been the most horrible moments of the history of that building, because during the French Revolution, this was the most tragic jail of Paris. We had several jails. That's the place where Marie Antoinette was kept for about 2.5 months before being chopped off the head. Right. You see the statue on your right hand side? That guy on his horse? Do you think he looks like me? Not the horse, not the man. Thank you. Okay. So this guy, he is one of our most popular kings. He was the grandfather of Louis XIV, the Sun King. So he was called Henry IV. He was coming from the southwest, and he was really well liked. That's him who inaugurated the bridge on which you are. And I know you're going to tell me, okay, a bridge, we don't care about the bridge. We see so many bridges. Hey guys, this bridge is the first bridge in Paris and maybe in Europe, built without any houses on it and built of stones. As before, all the bridges were made of wood. This was a major problem, you understand that, right? So we had many accidents. That's why this bridge was built. And when that bridge was built without any houses on it, the people of Paris were so scared. Nobody wanted to come here. Nobody wanted to cross the river. We were so scared. We thought everything would fall down. So that's the king himself who has been the first to cross the bridge. Nothing happened. So then he was followed by hundreds of thousands of people. That's the way it is, okay? This bridge, we call it a Pont Neuf, new bridge, Pont Neuf. That's the way, all right? But this is the oldest bridge of Paris, okay? So by the end of the 16th century. And I'm really sorry, but we won't be able to see Notre Dame because everything is blocked down there. Alors, you're going to just have a look on your left-hand side. You're going to see one part of it on your left-hand side. You see the big, the skyscraper, well, that small tower by the end on your left, by the end, just in the background. This is part of the Sorbonne University, place for people who would like to study sciences and biology and so on. Alors, voilà. Look on your left-hand side, you see You can see the towers of Notre Dame right now. Here they are. One of them appears to you, the Southern Tower. Voilà, so you might have time maybe tomorrow to take a look. Sorry about this, but they blocked all the streets.
It is gay pride.
It is so. Thank you, Pascal. Okay. All right. So that's why you can see all the policemen everywhere. They blocked all the streets of the Latin Quarter. I wanted to take you there, and we won't be able to go to Luxembourg Gardens as well because that's going to be their itinerary to go to the Place de la Nation maybe or Place de la République. This will be the final destination for them. Okay. Doesn't matter. We're going to see something else anyhow. Don't worry. We're going to stop. We're going to take you to the Invalides. So we're going to have fun together. Alors, which bank are we on now? Yes, you're right. Voilà, we are on the Rive Gauche. You can see very far from here. You can see Manhattan from there. Look, down there. A little bit on the right, you can see the skyscrapers of Manhattan. It's a very far distance. In fact, that's our business area. There's something that also makes Paris beautiful. We are just passing by the French Academy, the place where the French dictionary is elaborated. There's something which is a part of the other cities. Paris doesn't have any skyscrapers. Alors, I'm lying to you. Paris has got one skyscraper, but this is what we say in French, the exception which confirms the rule, right? But otherwise, we don't have any skyscrapers because, of course, everything would spoil the view of these beautiful, lovely, old private houses, private hotels, as we call it, at the time, during the 17th century. Now there are apartments, but before they were just houses belonging to powerful people of the aristocracy. So today, we are strictly forbidden to build any skyscrapers downtown. So they are all outside in that big area that you will see at the end of the tour, which is called La Défense, right? And it's the number one in business in Europe. Voilà. Okay. Well, I was telling you about the people, about the population. 2.2 million people in Paris, 12 million people all around. So at all, I would say, we got 12 million people, 12 to 13 million people living in Paris. This is a lot, That's 1 out of 6 inhabitants living here, right? So there's a lot of pressure in Paris, a lot of traffic, a lot of pollution, of course. That's the way it is. But I think if you come back to Paris within a few months, when it'll be a bit colder, it'll be much better, of course. And now, well, Paris has a charm, whatever happens. Look on your left-hand side. Can you see the name of the restaurant? Just here, where the traffic light is. Look at the second floor. You can see some inner shutters made of wood. The restaurant is Voltaire. That's the place where he died. This is his apartment. You heard about Voltaire, right? One of the greatest philosophers, right, we ever had in our history. And he gave us many ideas about freedom, justice, equality, but unfortunately he died 11 years before the French Revolution, so he could not see that, right? He would have liked to see it. Now look at this. I don't think you'll have time to do it, because you are, on the rush. It's, you're a little bit in a hurry, but at least, let me just tell you, next time you come, run to this building on your left-hand side. This building, this is a museum. Oh, it doesn't look like a museum. It's an old railway station. The first electric railway we've ever had in the world. We've beaten you, technically, in 1900, right? We've had the first electric train in Paris, right? Today, it's a museum with some of the most wonderful highlights of the 19th century. Alors, even telling you Claude Monet, even telling you Renoir, even telling you Sisley, even telling you Mary Cassatt, even telling you Van Gogh, they are all here in this museum, right? And I can tell you that by the time those people used to be alive, by the end of the 19th century, we French people did not want to buy any of those paintings. We thought they were absolutely horrible. I told you we've always been in trouble with modern art, right? So we thought those paintings were absolutely horrible. So you came and you started to buy paintings to those people, to Monet, Manet, Sisley, Renoir, and we laughed at you. We said, look at those American people. They have no taste. They buy any kind of painting. Let them buy those paintings. We don't care. Well, now we eat our fingers, of course. We regret it because most of their impressionist paintings are in your country. So be proud of it, right? Voila, voila. And I'm sorry, but I have to sing now. That's my duty as a French citizen.
Dum 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 dum.
This is our national hymn.
Yes.
If I say,
L'hymne national.
Okay? So for us, this is La Marseillaise, our national anthem. Look on the left-hand side, you're going to see the most famous symbol of our democracy. So that's where it is. It's part of the French Parliament. And we got the same system as you in America, except that our president of the Republic has got less power than your president in the Constitution. Okay, but a part of it, who is our president in France?
Macron.
Yes.
Emmanuel
Who is your president?
Macron.
No, I forgot his name. In America. Okay, right. So I
Trump.
can tell you that Donald Trump. Merci beaucoup.
Trumpet.
But I can tell you that we also have two chambers, as you have, except that they are not in the same place. You have them in the same place, the Capitol. We have one chamber here on your left-hand side, the most important. That's the National Assembly. Can you see the name above the columns?
Assemblée nationale.
Assemblée nationale. How many flags can you see outside?
5.
Alors, just the flags here on the mates that are on the left. Okay, don't count the one on the top. You got 5 flags. You know why? 5?
No.
This is the name of our actual republic, the 5th republic. We've had 5 constitutions. You've had one constitution, 1783, and this is it. We've had 5 different constitutions. Can you imagine the big circus, right? The day we will change, we will have another constitutional assembly. And I will tell you that about those constitutions, the 5th one is not very, very old, but it's kind of old. It dates from 1958. You know the name of the guy who made it. He was a very, very important guy. Who do you think about when you think about French history? Tell me, very quickly, names that come out of your mind. Napoleon. Yes, Napoleon.
Général de Gaulle.
Louis XIV. The General de Gaulle, of course, right? And then you will have Marie Antoinette and Joan of Arc. So those are usually the names that are coming back every time we talk about French history. That's de Gaulle, who in fact decided to change the last constitution and to create the actual one. I know, we're going to get off. We're going to stop for a few minutes, time for you to take pictures. Be sure that you are in Paris, guys. The Eiffel Tower is a bit on the left-hand side. Okay, voila, voila. Don't worry, we're going to get up, so you're going to have time. I will ask you not to cross the street because we are killers, right? But actually, the traffic is not bad. So if you can do it, if you don't think there are too many cars, just cross the street to have one of the most wonderful views you're going to have in Paris on the Champs-Élysées Avenue. Right, that stands just in front of you. You won't see anything because you see those big white things in front of us. You know what they are? Those are the tribunes for the officials. What's going to happen within 2 weeks in Paris? The Bastille Day, 14th of July. So we're going to have a huge military parade. And so the President of the Republic will stand here, right? But you're going to have time to get off. We're going to give you about 15 minutes around here. Let me tell you where you are. Maybe you know where you are. Somewhere. Good. You are on the Concorde Square. That's the largest